next topic is our suggestions and our recommendations of you winning at life. Just things that make the day is easier, stresses that you might have come up with. Take our little tips here and there. It's not all our own tips. It could be things that we've learned and watched from viral videos, books, or just on the hearsay. And you can take it, try it, and if it's made a benefit to your life, thumbs up, so be it. Crack on and live life. I'll crack on, Dave. I'll share my one, and it's one. It's one that I do, that I came up with myself, actually, and it's a bit of a storage kind of tip, and also it's a really good thing to save kind of for the future. So, and it's really simple. And again, I doubt many people do this. Again, I'm assuming a lot, but I doubt many people do this. So you have, I'm assuming obviously with your children, you have lots and lots of videos saved on your phone.
What's to keep them quiet?
No, of them.
Oh, yes.
Like moments of like them, their first walk, or just funny things they might say. You save little videos, and they might obviously be uploaded to the iCloud or to Google Drive and stuff like that. But at some point, your storage is going to run out, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So where else can we store these videos?
Yeah, like you say, cloud, laptop, hard drive.
Yeah, but where can you store these videos that you can access them all the time, and you can then also screencast these at any point?
Like a home NAS system or something like that?
YouTube.
Okay. So what you're saying is, I'm going to guess what you'll do is you've made a YouTube channel and then set them to private, the channel to private.
Yeah, right. So there's two options, right? So you don't, I mean, if you've got your own, so I've got my own YouTube channel for my cycling account, right?
Oh, here we go again, not in the Peloton.
Okay, not in the Peloton.com. Have a little click and link. It's there, it's out there anyway. So I can't be asked making another YouTube channel, but it doesn't matter anyway, right? So on my YouTube channel, I uploaded all the videos of my little boy that I've kept all over the years. And at first I set them to private, but then that means I couldn't share them with any family. So I made a little playlist, and I've uploaded all the videos to this playlist, and I've set them all as unlisted. So they don't come up publicly, and it's only when I share that playlist link with people, they can actually watch those videos. And so once it's uploaded up to YouTube, I delete them off my phone, and they're forever on YouTube. Now, obviously you might keep a few videos on your phone for, obviously whatever reason you want to do, but the amount of videos that we take and have on WhatsApp, on just our own phones and stuff like that, it's a lot, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of videos that I don't really want to keep on my phone, but I just want to put them up onto like a playlist so I can I have them. And the really good thing is that for a while, it really worked with my little boy, is that I would then just flip YouTube from my phone onto the TV, and he's up there on the big screen watching himself, like walking, talking, playing on the beach, playing with his marble runs or whatever. And children love it. Children love watching themselves. It's something they don't do. And it's like mirroring and stuff as well. So it has a few benefits here of keeping the child entertained. They can watch themselves. They can learn from themselves, save storage. And those videos, now, whether you feel like YouTube is safe for your videos to be stored on there, that's your prerogative.
Prerogative,
thank you. But it's up there. And for what I'm not aware that they have a storage limit. Do they?
YouTube?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
So there you go. Unlimited storage, free, and it's up there. And if you want to keep it private, that's fine. You make it unlisted, put them in that playlist, a certain playlist, share that playlist link with just the people you want. Like I send it to my mum, and then she can watch videos of my little boy whenever she wants.
So when it's unlisted, then that means no one else can find them unless the link's been shared with them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I never knew that.
Yeah, like private, it's just you. It's like locked in. If it's unlisted, it doesn't come up on any of your channel unless you've shared the link with your audience or with certain people.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And I found it really, really successful with my little boy, and it's just so that's my little tip that I do, and I'm quite interested in here if anyone actually has done the same. So
that's a good tip.
Will you do that? Will you create a little channel or?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I think it rolls back to when you were moaning about you're charging your phone and stuff. If you're running out of space and you need to charge your phone that much, I think it might just be time to buy a new phone.
But we all have smart TVs. We have the YouTube app on the TV. Flick that on, it's there.
Yeah, but I haven't got a space issue on my phone. I'm sure I can still cast videos from my phone onto the TV without YouTube.
Do you know what? Your turn.
So I've had recommendations the other episodes, but I've actually got what I believe to be a life hack, and
okay,
it's a personal hygiene one, which is weird. But so I got told this, I think, only last year, and it's something probably everyone does, but you might be doing it in the wrong order. And I had forgotten about this. I wasn't even thinking about it, but then I actually heard it on the radio, and someone called in, and the presenter was like, "Really? I didn't know that." So I was like, "I'm going to bring this one in." So,
is this safe for work?
So it is very safe for work. Don't you worry. So it's for your teeth. So I heard it from my dentist. Question for you: do you use mouthwash at all?
Yes.
Okay. So when you clean your teeth, what's your routine? What do you do?
Clean my teeth at a 30-degree angle by the gums, and then you don't rinse. You leave because the fluoride has to obviously do its bits, do its work, and if you rinse it out even with water or mouthwash, then the fluoride basically just gets rinsed away. So I only use mouthwash sort of in the middle of the day after I've like had a bit of lunch or something, and then that's it. I don't use it any other time really.
Okay, so you're doing it the correct way. So what I didn't realise until my dentist said, and the presenter didn't know on this radio station that I was listening. I think most people, what they'll do is they will brush their teeth and they'll use the mouthwash straight after. And what that's doing is, as you said, it's washing away the fluoride from the toothpaste. And basically what they're saying is, even though the mouthwash has fluoride and stuff in it, because the toothpaste is thicker and stuff, it will stay around and in your teeth and gums for longer. So if you want to use mouthwash, that's absolutely fine. Just do it before you brush your teeth. So you use the mouthwash, then brush your teeth. And as you said, you don't rinse with water or anything. You just leave it in your mouth. And
it's interesting. Use mouthwash before you brush. I've never done that.
Yeah, because I find that you still like when you're rinsing with mouthwash, it still gets, when I spit it out, there's still like bits and stuff in there. So I was finding that so if I brush my teeth, then use the mouthwash, which is the wrong way, and there would still be bits that would come out.
Okay.
So when I said to the dentist, right, we were having a discussion, and she's like, "Oh, what do you do?" I was like, "I'll do this," and then she goes, "You do the mouthwash afterwards?" And I said, "Yeah," and she told me about the fluoride, and I said, "So is it okay to do the mouthwash before?" And she said, "Yes, of course, do the mouthwash before, and that will get those bits out, and then clean your teeth as normal with the toothbrush, and don't rinse."
Do you floss?
Yep, floss.
No, I mean, like, do you dance?
Oh yeah, a fortnight dance, isn't it?
I have a dental pick. Do you know like the little picks they have? You can actually buy them like in Superdrug and stuff like that. I use a dental pick and I scrape like the tartar.
Yep.
It's weird because I've got tartar sauce in my head. And I can't obviously say that.
It's plaque, isn't it? Plaque.
Yeah, plaque and tartar plaque. Yeah. So I picked that out, and that sort of, because you can feel like the lining of your teeth a bit more fresher and stuff like that. But yeah, no, you're right about you're definitely right about fluoride. And honestly, I only got really told that by my wife. She's very into her teeth. She was like, I went to the dentist a couple of months ago, and I haven't been for years. I was like, oh, he's going to absolutely
annihilate me.
Just completely go to town on me. And he actually come back and said, actually, your teeth are actually good, Nick. I've got a fill-in. I need to go back this week to get replaced. But he said, oh, your teeth are fine. I'm like, wow, geez. Like, I said, oh, if you think my teeth are decent, you see my wife's, you know. I tell you what, it's like an A-level student. You're just gonna smile and you're gonna go, I just walk back out, you know, sticker and everything. Although he did give me a little free tub of toothpaste, and I said to my wife, I said, "Did you get a bit of toothpaste?" She went, "No." I was like, "Oh, he probably likes me more," or maybe I had bad breath at the time, and he's giving me a little bit of hints.
Yeah, maybe he needed it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, it's super important looking after your teeth, though, isn't it? Super important.
You don't want that. Jesus, imagine them falling out at a young age and having to. Because the thing is, teeth are expensive, but I think don't put it off because you don't want a gappy smile or no teeth at all. God,
Yeah,
no.
I mean, I slightly got off a little bit, not off of it. I remember working at school once and coming across a child, and obviously it's negligence as well because parents obviously weren't very good at dental hygiene, and you could see the blackness in the teeth. And it's that, I think it was their baby teeth. I hope it was their baby teeth. But you see like the blackness in their teeth and like the hygiene. You just think, wow, like you can have some real serious problems. And obviously, parents have got to teach their children to look after their teeth well, rather than just think they're going to crack it. Really, don't they?
Oh yeah, no. It's always you've got to teach children everything.
Definitely. So, lesson learned: don't rinse, don't spit.
Mouthwash first,
Yeah, mouthwash first,
then brush.
then brush. Dave's dental tip of the week.
Okay, so our next topic is instant replay, where we try and we relive a moment in sporting history. I will kick this one off, and I've got another rugby one for you, but it's a bit more of a present in the moment one.
Okay.
So it's from last season. Harlequins won the Premiership title last season, but it's not actually the final I want to talk about. It's the semi-final between them and the Bristol Bears.
Okay.
So I mean, at the beginning of the season, we were looking down and out. We sacked our coach, and basically we had like 4 joint coaches, and they just gave all the players just go and play. We believe in you. We know what you can do. And we just worked our way up and up and up the table until we were in the playoff positions. And the game against the Bristol Bears in the semi-final it had everything. It was do or die. So basically Bristol went 28-0 up.
Wow.
In 28-0 up in as many minutes in the first half.
Was you there, or were you watching on TV? Or
no, this was all. It was so. I can't even talk about it. It was all during the COVID stuff.
Oh, okay.
So they win the game. I'll tell you how they won the game, and they got to the final. But it was, I think, that they were only allowed. So the final was played at Twickenham Stadium that holds almost 90,000 people. And I think the final was only allowed to have 10,000 people, but the following week there was a football game, and that was being allowed 50,000.
Right.
It was one of those stupid things. It's like, why the week before you only allowed 10,000, the week after was 50? But we won't go into all the politics and stupid rules of COVID and Boris doing his parties, because that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so Bristol Bears went 28-0 up in the first half, and I was watching at home, and I was like, we're done. We've done so well. We've come so close. I thought it's a good try, seeing how we sacked our coach and we were near the bottom half of the table and we got to the playoffs. I thought, well done, lads. That's great, but we can't do any more. Anyway, then on the stroke of half time, we get a try back. Okay, so that's not too bad. Then after half time, we closed the gap quickly, and it was then 28-24. And then a late try in extra. Just so in rugby, unlike football, for those that don't know, the clock will go 80 to 80 minutes, the end of the time, but until the ball goes dead, the time ticks on. So most football, they put a stop. It keeps going. The time keeps going. There was a late try, and the game ended 31-31 to go to extra time.
Wow.
And it goes to extra time, and Harlequins win. Bristol Bears 36, Harlequins 43.
Wow.
It just, the game had everything. Extra time, you don't see that a lot. I mean, you don't really see many draws because there's because in rugby you got tries, then you got the conversions, and then you got the penalties. So 5 points, 2 points, and 3 points. Having games draw doesn't happen too often, and then obviously because it's a semi-final, someone had to win, so it had to go to the extra time. And it was, that game had my emotions. My heart was out of my chest. I was on the edge of my seat. I was jumping up and down. And yeah, we win the final, but that game, I think Quinn showed what they can do. And yeah, it was an incredible game.
But the saddest thing is there was no crowd. Can you imagine? The noise if there was a crowd there?
Yeah.
That's gutting, isn't it?
Well, this is why they have to make up. This is why they have to, like I say, make up for it. This is why they have to do it again this year. And hopefully I can go and see
that game. Final. Exactly the same layout of the game.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Down. Yeah, go 20-0 down, have a big gap and just claw it back. Then allow the other team to come back, draw. So then obviously fix the points, allow them to maybe score a try if they need 5, so on and so forth. And then just blast them in extra time. Just then you can obviously relive those emotions again.
The thing is, what Quins do this week in, week out. They go down by a lot of points and then they come back and they win it in the dying minutes. So they've just been in a European Cup with Montpellier, and in the first game on the away leg, they went down many points. They came back, they didn't win, they came back to a reasonable amount. And then the other day, this weekend on Saturday, they had the home leg, and once all the points are tallied, they lost by a point.
Wow.
So Montpellier have gone through and we've missed it by a point. So
they are rugby's version of, I don't know if you remember Kevin Keegan when he was manager of Newcastle.
I know Kevin Keegan.
He had this kind of philosophy where if the other team scored 5, they'd score 6. And that's literally his teams did. His teams would literally just attack. It was so open. And that sounds like a little bit how like Harlequins play. They literally are just very, very open. I haven't seen them. I'm just assuming they are a very, very open rugby team.
Yeah, they do. They love running the ball. It's all like a bit flash, like New Zealand-esque, like throwing the ball around. They trust their ability, but it's that most of their games are high scoring because of it. Running rugby at its best.
I've only ever seen Harlequins play once at the Stoop, and my wife lived in the flats just next to him at the time, and we thought would go and watch a game, so just walk across the road. It's your perfect location actually. So we went there, we watched Harlequins versus someone. It could have been Bristol or something. And we had seats about maybe 3, which is on the side, but maybe about 3 rows in. So we're quite close to like the action. And in the second half, I remember who did Ben Cohen play for?
Oh God. Was he Leicester?
It could have been Leicester game.
Yeah, I think he might have been Leicester.
So he got tackled by one of the Harlequins players, and they both smashed into the side of the wall, and they both got up and started hitting each other. And like me and my wife were just looking at each other, going like, "What is going on?" And we've had a few Guinnesses at that point, so I don't know if she is going, "Yeah, go on, rubbish, throw out." But there's me going, "No, darling, no, that's not. This is rugby. This is middle class. Let them play it out. The referee will just watch from the side, and then he'll obviously book them, sin bin them, and yeah." That's what it's like, isn't it? But anyway, it was just a big brawl just happened right in front of us. And I can't remember the score. That's the only thing I took away from the game, that it was just a big punch up after a really bad tackle on the side of the wall. But and do you know what? Out of all my sporting moments, I've actually seen some big rugby games. I've seen England versus New Zealand.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I hope he's listening. So we were on our way back from Paris, me and my wife, on the Eurostar, right? And I was scrolling through Twitter, and Ali had retweeted this rugby competition for tickets to England versus New Zealand.
Oh my God.
So I retweeted it as well.
And you won it.
And I went through the tunnel, right? Went through the tunnel. Obviously, phone's dead, no reception.
Yep.
Come out the other side. I had a message from Ali going, you absolute anchor, and I was like, what? I said, where's this coming from, mate? And I checked my Twitter, and it was like, congratulations, Ben Ryan, well done. Oh, full name. Congratulations, well done. You've won 2 tickets for the upcoming Autumn Test International England versus New Zealand. I was like, and I turned to my wife and I went, well, girlfriend at the time, and I went, do you want to go see England versus New Zealand in a couple of weeks? It's like, yeah, okay. So yeah, I got to see New Zealand. That was pretty special. I've seen New Zealand versus Argentina in the World Cup. I've seen England versus Ireland in Six Nations. I've seen European Cup final at Twickenham. I don't think I've seen the Premiership final at Twickenham as well.
Oh, you've seen a fair few.
I know. So when it comes to rugby, I've seen big games. When it comes to football, I've just seen Fulham versus Port Vale. So.
As big as they come.
What's the biggest rugby occasion you've been to?
I think one of the first jobs I had, we used to buy computer equipment from a finance company. We used to lease it, and the finance company was Investec. And back then, Investec was one of the main sponsors for Twickenham. They had their the Investec painted on the grass, and we spent a lot of money with them. And one day someone said to the boss, was like, why don't you just call them and say, can you get us tickets? And he's like, okay. And he did, and they provided an absolute load of tickets, and they knew that I liked rugby, so I was able to get a ticket, and we literally sat, I don't know, it must have been 5 rows back on the halfway line.
Wow.
And it was England. It was an England versus South Africa game.
Wow.
And I can't remember the score or anything like that, but that was probably the best seats I've had in Twickenham. Yeah, it was just a few rows back, halfway line where the players run out. Wow. England, South Africa. That was a really good one.
Because if you just manage to get tickets at Twickenham, it's always in the nosebleed section, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always, and it's just like, I mean, the view's good, but you're literally always a few seconds behind the action because you just can't really see. I mean, like the speed of light and speed of sound is different in it. I mean, so that's how far away you are, man. That's pretty special. We've turned this into a proper rugby topic. We need to change that angle here, mate.
Well, what have you got then? Hopefully you haven't got rugby.
I've got a sporting moment that I wasn't at, but you was.
Oh,
I know, and I was so gutted that I missed this.
I think I know what it is, but if it's what I think it is, there's a caveat. So go on, what is it?
2012.
Oh, I thought it was.
Summer Olympics.
Yep.
Bradly Wiggins, time trial gold at Hampton Court.
Oh, okay. It's not what I thought it was. Okay.
What do you think it was going to be? But the athletics?
Yeah.
No. I've forgiven you and Tom for going to the. Was it the morning session?
Yeah. So it was super. Was it called Super
Saturday?
Super Saturday. Yeah. But we were there for the morning session, so we saw them, but we got all those golds in the afternoon session, so we weren't there. So that's what my caveat was going to be. But honestly, I remember that year applying for every freaking ticket under the sun, and the only tickets I got was, and it's not a bad thing whatsoever, I had the GB women versus Brazil at Wembley, and honestly, that was brilliant, and they won 1-0, I think. I just thought being at Olympics, and we all went to see the road race, didn't we? Yep.
At Richmond Park, at Bushy Park, and then we went to Bushy Park. No, we went to Bushy Park first. Soon come around the fountain. That's brilliant. I've got some fantastic pictures of Mark Cavendish, Wiggins, Froome. I can name so many pro riders from like come around. Like that was such a good spot we had. And then we were in Richmond Park, then flying down all the way back to London. And then the week after was the time trial. And I was working at a summer camp in Weybridge, which weren't too far, which was probably maybe about 5 or 6 miles down the road from Hampton Court.
Yep.
And I remember trying to work out what time Bradly Wiggins was off and what time we finished camp. I think we finished camp like 3, and he was going off at like 20 past 3 or something, or half 3. So I remember getting on my bike and pedaling as hard as I can through Weybridge, through Walton. And I got up to just where the reservoirs was, where they were turning. I must have missed him by about a few minutes, because he literally, I got there and then some of the stewards were saying, oh, it's all done now. And I was just like, oh, I couldn't believe it. And then I knew that you, Tom, who was Panda?
No, I think Siobhan was there, Kelly was there, and Lucy was there, I think.
Yeah, you were on the Hampton Court kind of way, weren't you? Him coming out of Bushy Park.
No, we were in Bushy Park on the road leading up to the fountain in Bushy Park.
Oh.
And we were seeing them going past. And then I remember, Wiggins went past, and then he was the last rider to go, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So he was the last rider, he's gone. And then I've never seen that many people in one place, because then everyone was trying to head down, because obviously it finished by Hampton Court Palace, or in Hampton Court Palace, and everyone was trying to get there, because it wasn't until we couldn't get anywhere close. We tried to go round through Hampton Court by the maze and come back the other side of the river to see him, but we just couldn't. We couldn't get close, and I don't think it was until I got home or the next day where you saw the pictures of him sitting on the throne. Sitting on the throne with the winner's medal until either that evening or the next day, because we couldn't get anywhere close, but we did try to.
I remember because I cycled every day back there and back to Weybridge the whole summer, and I cycled through Bushy Park that morning, and they were stopping people riding through on the road, although it was like 7:30 in the morning. I remember that, and the guy said, "Oh, you have to get off. Like, you have to stop and get off." And I was like, oh. And I did for a bit, and then I rode on. So I knew the course very well. I knew all the roads. I cycled those roads and stuff like that. And because it came all the way down back into Twickenham, through Kingston, Twickenham and stuff like that. And I just remember like it being local roads. It was just wicked. So it was 27 miles, the route. Do you want to have a guess of what his time was?
Oh, they do ridiculous time. It's like when you hear the marathon runners run a marathon in 2 hours. It's like how it's physically possible. Is it something like, I want to say it's something like, is it something like 18 minutes? Or no, I don't know.
What, do you have a rocket tied to his bike? 18 minutes to do 27 miles.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been on a bike in a long time.
So his average speed would be 90 miles an hour.
What's the time then? Come on.
Yeah, you're not good at this stuff, are you?
I'm not. I'm really not.
He did it in 50 minutes, 39 seconds.
Okay.
Probably average somewhere between 35 to 40 mile an hour, I reckon. Something like that. That's crazy for like an hour, like near enough an hour effort at that speed. I can't even get to that speed going downhill. I mean, that is unreal. And just before we finish this topic, if you go on the Sigma Sport YouTube channel, there is a video clip of him and Matt Stevens, and they ride the route again, and he relives sort of that day and tells the story of that day and all the things he's going through. It's really good video. And they stop for like a coffee in a cafe in Molesey, and he just goes through and stuff like that. And it's quite interesting, to be fair. So I still feel quite gutted that you got to see that and I didn't. On to you said, she said, he said, they said, we said, quote of the week. Could be anything from anyone in any era, any genre, any industry. Usually something that's inspirational, something that's uplifting, something that's quite meaningful, philosophical, if that's the word, I'm saying it right. And we just bring it along, we dissect it, and we just have a look at really what it means. The deeper
meaning.
Here's a deeper meaning. Dave, what have you got for us?
Okay, I've got something from what I would hazard a guess to say. He's a very, very intelligent man. You might know him. Albert Einstein. Ever heard of him? No. Okay, so he's this little guy. No, I'm joking. You obviously know who Albert Einstein is. Everyone knows who Albert Einstein is. So yeah, I've seen this quote before, and I thought it's pretty good, and the kind of quotes that we've been doing the last couple of weeks. So the quote is: insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Wow.
And I think a lot of people...
Sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's true, because I think a lot of people do the same thing over and over in whatever walk of life, whatever they're doing, and then they get frustrated and angry and go, why is nothing changing? It's because you're doing the same thing. So just to have that little thought in your head, if you're expecting a different result, analyze what you're doing, and is there anything you can change that would change the outcome?
It's like a philosophical statement to make, looking at a scientific approach, isn't it? Because obviously he's a scientist. But for him to carry an investigation out the same way over and over again and expecting different results, it's not going to happen. You've got to change something. You've got to change one of your factors, one of your variables. Or if you are looking for a different result, then you need to change your factors and your variables, because it just makes sense. It's logic, isn't it?
Yep.
And if you are getting the same result and you're getting frustrated from that, then yeah, you probably would go a bit crazy though, wouldn't you? If you're not open-minded, if like you say, if you're not expanding your analysis behind what's getting there and you're not dissecting that, then yeah, you are probably going to go a little bit mad and you're just going to frustrate yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, people have busy lives and whatever, and sometimes you need to take that step back. So you're looking at the bigger picture, because people get bogged down and go, why is my life like this? Like you said, got to analyze these things, haven't you? And find the root cause of these things. But yeah, don't expect a different result doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, no, you are right, because if you are getting a bit stale in your life and you are a bit bored with job or just social life or whatever, then yeah, change it up, because then the results will be different. And you could go back to your quote of that maybe quote. You won't know that consequence until you actually go through with it and actually say that was for me or what is not for me, because you've tried it, and that's only going to be for the better. And life is there for living, isn't it? I mean, like, I really don't want to be 60, 70 years old and looking back and going, I did the same thing all the time. I mean, I grab every opportunity I can. I mean, that's why I don't want to come back to it, but I have a very long list of sporting events I've been to, because I've just jumped at the chance and gone, I want to go do it. I want to go see it. You know what I mean? So, and I'm lucky. I feel quite lucky. I've been around those opportunities that I can just obviously say I've done. And I don't want that to kind of stop really with my life, really, to be fair. And hopefully my family will kind of embed, obviously my wife's listening, so I'm going to have to speak a little bit quiet. But no, do you know what I mean? I always push like my wife and my little boy to just do different things all the time if we can, and just take advantage of things that are around. So we're going to top it a little bit with this quote, but it still kind of goes back to just, like you said, analyze, look, and change for the better, really, isn't it? Otherwise you would go crazy.
Yeah, you're not going off to, because it's one of those things, you don't want to be on your deathbed going, what if?
Yeah.
What if I didn't? What if I had done that? What if I did? Well, do it and try it.
Definitely. Good one, man. And I like the guy, and I like it's come from that guy as well, because obviously being scientists and not really known to be so philosophical, they're normally very factual, and they don't like airy statements, do they? So it's quite interesting that's come from him. Where did you find that?
I can't remember how I came across it, but then when I was doing my research, if you actually type in Albert Einstein quotes, he did a fair few. So he obviously had that kind of outlook on life as well as being a scientist. So
interesting. Oh, I like that one. You always got some good quotes, Dave. And I tell you what, all your quotes all come from different areas, I've noticed so far over the episodes. Okay. My quote is from me.
Right, okay.
So it is something that, like, I'm not being big. It's something that I used to say in my teaching all the time, a lot of my classes, because I really do believe it. So you can dissect it and disagree with it if you want, but I always used to say this to my students, and I used to say, you only get something right when you get something wrong, because I always believed if you get something right first time, it's fluky, because how do you know you did it right? Do you know what I mean? You have to. I'm not saying that's 100% foolproof way. I mean, because there's some people in the world that they get it right and they can get it right again and again and again. They just know how to do it. But most of the time we make mistakes. It's only when we make a mistake do we know then to fix it and get it right.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'll come back to, you only get something right when you get something wrong. So I was trying to allow the children to understand that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to get things wrong, because then we'll know what we did wrong and we fix that. And it comes back to your sort of, to be fair, these kind of quotes actually work well, because it comes back to the Albert Einstein quote that if you're expecting a different result because you haven't changed anything, then you're going to get mad. And obviously, if you expecting to get it right all the time, then you're going to get mad as well. So I was saying that statement just to really make my students at ease that it's okay to get things wrong. There's no pressure, and we'll deal with it. And I'm sort of going on myself a little bit here, but I never look at a problem. I never panic at a problem. You know what I mean? If my little boy came in now and the glass smashed on the floor or something, I mean, I wouldn't panic and I wouldn't stress over it. I would deal with it, and I'll make sure everyone's safe and happy and okay. And that's anything, if our washing machine broke, I wouldn't panic. I'd start hand washing the clothes or something. I would look for solutions that even short term would help it out. You know what I mean? So I go on the basis of don't panic with problems, and if something goes wrong, that's okay. We'll get it right. And, there's worse situations to be in the world than whine about a mistake that it's not really going to matter in a way, really. So
a lot of business people and stuff that I see online and read and stuff like that, they always say their biggest learnings have come from failures.
Yeah.
And because a lot of business people, when you set up a business, it's not likely these like entrepreneurs and stuff, it's not the first business that they set up that makes them loads of money. It's like, it can be number 9, number 10, but every time a business fails, they learn from that failure and then roll it over to make the next one better. And it might fail again, but then they take that learning and it just keeps rolling on. And it's why, like, I suppose, because obviously yours is related to teaching, that when they have maths questions, it says show your workings out. Because if you show your workings out, you can find what the mistake is to be able to fix it. Because if you've got like a complicated maths question and you just put the number in, that could be a guess. Whereas if you're doing your workings out, you're going to be able to pick it through, aren't you, and find it, and it's more calculated.
Yeah. And I think teaching has kind of changed since we were kind of at school. That, I mean, like, I used to have a maths teacher at school. I think it's Mr. Lowe. I think that was his name. Do you remember Mr. Lowe?
The name rings a bell. I don't think he was my teacher.
He was one grumpy man, and he was a good teacher. Actually, I don't know if he's a good teacher. Actually, being a teacher now, I could kind of criticize him and judge him from what he really is. I mean, he was set 1 maths, right? And I was one of the weaker ones of the set 1. I was good at maths, but like I was surrounded by some people who got things very quickly. But I also sat with Samir and Charlie at the back. Obviously, our audience ain't gonna know who Samir and Charlie is, but it's just like a comedy show sitting at the back. But he was so grumpy, and it made you really feel like if you did a mistake, you weren't worthy. And like it was, even I've never ever asked him for help because he just looked very grumpy and angry. And like, I didn't want my children in my classes to feel like that. I wanted them to feel like, get things wrong, man. Like, get things wrong. It's okay. And also you'll self-learn. I'm not saying I cut corners of teaching, but no, I won't. Do you know what I mean? But you won't be sucking up my attention because you don't feel confident of solving that mistake. And it saves me up for children who do need my full my attention more, because obviously you can then have the confidence and have the ability to work out yourselves, really. So I was trying to push them to get them to realize it's okay to make mistakes, and you'll get things right in the end.
No, I like it. Next topic, what's your price? So this is where we say, how much would it be for you to do this? And we haggle and we see what happens. Last week I went for Ben's fear of heights. This one I've got for you this week isn't so much, it's not a fear. It's just really, let me just get into it rather than trying to explain it. So mine to you is, how much would I have to pay you to go and live on the moon?
What kind of question is that?
That's my question.
Is there any conditions with that? I mean, like, what? Just to live on? What do you mean live on the moon? Like,
live on the moon? You go and live on the moon.
Is there a house there? I mean, like, because like I can't physically live on the moon because I'll just die. I mean, there's nothing there that will make. I mean, what is there a base? Like, it's a hypothetically like a space station, a base. I mean, what?
So like obviously Elon Musk is trying to do like colonize Mars. You've just basically got a livable house in a bubble or whatever you want to call it.
So it's like the film The Martian, where he has that kind of like house bubble, and he has like his own like a little allotment that he's trying to grow. Are you saying that kind of thing, not just sit on the moon?
No. So you've got some stuff, but it's not like normal civilization as you see it, and you can have your family with you. So it's not just you by yourself. You can have your family.
Because I was going to say, what kind of stage of my life am I answering this in? Because my answer now would be different if I was single and just on my own. Do you know what I mean? And if you said I had to leave my family, then I'd probably say that wouldn't probably be.
No, so you can take them. You go next after the pod, and you go next door to the missus and go, right, we're moving everything to the moon.
And this is the thing as well, is that like now, like obviously, because my wife would sort of say no, I'm very much happy in Breath Island. So I'd have to have a price that's going to be happy to her. But then obviously she's going to say, well, what we're going to use the money on, because our home is in the moon. There's no shops in the moon. What we're going to do with the money? So I'm kind of thinking now, what's the point of giving you a price? I might as well do it for free, because money is literally going to be, unless I use the money and I just give it away or like pass it on. Can I do that? Can I pass it on to people?
We've never really set any rules for that, passing it on or whatever. It's more a case of. So you're basically just saying you'll go there for free. You're happy to move to the moon. Well, because be the only people up there, no civilization.
Well, because if there was no choice, like if you gave me a choice saying, would you do it? I'll say no, because I'm very happy here on Earth. But if you said to me, you have to go, but we will pay you, money up on the moon is irrelevant, because what am I going to spend it on? Moon cheese. I mean, there's no one to buy from on the moon. Like, what am I going to use the money for?
No, but it's even little things like, how are you going to go out on your bike?
What, on the moon?
Yeah, exactly. There's no gravity, so you can't go. Wouldn't be able to go out. Anything like that. So it'd be a very...
Exactly. So there's the money's irrelevant, and I'm not going to. If it's just me and my wife and my son, there's nothing to buy. Like, what do I need money for?
So you doing it or not doing it?
You never thought this through, because, like I said, I'll probably do it for free because money's irrelevant. Like, I mean, I'll probably, you can even give me like $1,000 and I'll just give it, whatever you give me, whatever price we set, I'll just give it away anyway, because I don't need it. I'll just give it back to you.
Okay, so you're going to go live on the moon for free.
Yeah.
Fair enough then. Okay. We best get tweeting Elon Musk, because he's got his first customer for Mars here. He's not bothered about going to live somewhere. Live in space with no one else around.
Okay, if you say live in space, live on the moon for a year and then come back, okay, I'm going to want some money for that, because when I come back, there's going to be a little paycheck at the end. But if I'm on the moon, and then I'm there just with my wife and kid, and we have everything given, or like we've got to grow stuff, or it's livable. I don't need money. I don't need it, do I? I mean, it's literally a worthless value on the moon, isn't it? Right. So okay. So we've established that I'll do it for free.
Perfect.
All right. Fair enough.
That was a cheap date.
Well, okay. Fair enough. Well, think about yours next time, mate. Really. So you played on my fear last week. I'll play on yours.
I know what's going to be. It's going to be dog related.
Yep, it is dog related.
Oh, for God's sake.
Right. What's your price, Dave, to spend a night over in Battersea Dogs Home with the cages open?
Oh my God.
Sleep over at Battersea Dogs Home and the dogs have free roam.
I wouldn't do it.
You gotta have a price.
I can't.
You have to. I did it. I'm going to the moon for free.
Mate, I couldn't.
What? I gave you a price to do a bungee jump, mate, and I'd hate to do a bungee jump.
Mate, a bungee jump can't eat you.
But these dogs want to be loved. They're more likely to lick you all over, mate. It'll be one great experience for you.
I don't want to love them. I can't. I don't.
Don't tell me we've cracked this topic already after like 2 episodes of this.
I couldn't. I can't.
What have I said to you? What have I said to you? I'm gonna give you a price. I'm gonna give you money. All right. What have I said to you? £5 million in a suitcase.
No.
That's £5 million, mate. That's £5 million. You can. The thing is, like, you can, like, I'm trying to give you some conditions here. You can move around the Battersea Dogs Home, right?
Yeah, their gates are open, and they can
every door is left open.
So
every cage is left open, so it's free roam for you, but it's also free roam for the dogs. So every room you go into, they will also have access to it.
Okay? Exactly. So what's the point? You're telling me I can walk around. What's the point in that?
Because you can obviously move away from them, but
and they'll follow.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, you might have some dogs that, thing is though, the dogs at Battersea Dogs Home, they're not going to have violent behaviour, or some might, but they've been classed as safe. And you're going to have like some really cute little puppies there as well. So I'm starting off at 5 million. That is well generous.
The thing is, I don't know what it is, but so for the listeners, I'm not really at all an animal person in general. And when with animals, I think I'm quite good at reading people. You can look at a person, I can pick up on the expression, this, that, and the other, what someone's saying. Do they like me? Don't they like me? Do they want to beat me up? Don't they want to beat me up? That type of thing. When it comes to animals, I find them so unpredictable. I can't. They make me, especially dog, they make me nervous, and I can't. Are they gonna, like, when people go, oh yeah, just stroking me, it's fine, but then they're looking up, are they gonna they open their mouth and they go, oh no, just stroke them, they'll go away if you stroke them, just come and just like sniff you and then they leave you. Just no, I just don't need that unpredictability in my life, and 5 million is not going to do it. Did you do any research? How many dogs are kept at Battersea Dogs Home?
Okay, do you know what then? I'm going to do it right now. So we're going to pause it now, and I'm going to come back to you literally in 10 seconds. Right. After a little bit of research, basically just going onto the website of Battersea Dogs Home, they have dogs and cats, by the way. They have 74 dogs in there at the moment.
74?
There's 74 dogs up for adoption at the moment. I'm scrolling through, and there's some big guys. There is some guy. Like, I'm looking at Luna, and she looks like she'll eat a lion's leg clean off. But then you've got Buster, who looks like just a little ferret. So 5 million. I'm starting off at 5 million. That's so high.
It's not happening.
10 million. I'm double. £10 million.
You just said old Luna can eat a lion's leg or whatever.
She might. I don't know. I don't know them personally, but £10 million.
No, oh no, I can't.
Wow.
I seriously, I find animals too unpredictable, and like,
can you not counteract me a price? Could you not, like, I mean, if you say 100 million, I'm definitely going down high. I mean, that is unreal.
No, there's like people have, like, it's a fear. Like, obviously you're doing a bungee jump one from last week. It can't be that bad. Like, I literally, like, dogs. Nah, I'm not. Like,
Got to be a price though, Dave.
Like, people don't like snakes and spiders. Like, snakes and spiders I'd much rather. Like, what is it? What's the I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
Yeah.
When they're doing that stuff with those exotic stuff like that, I'll be like, yeah, I can do that. If they put me in like a dog kennel like you're suggesting, I'll be like, nah, get me out. Get me out. Get me on the plane, and get me home.
But you don't, it's not a kennel. You have the whole home to yourself, but all the doors and the cages are open. So you're not like trapped in a room with them all. It's just you and the dogs have the whole place to themselves, and you have to be there from sunset to sunrise.
Yeah, so but
And
then
I tell you
if
what,
it's at night, then if I'm the only fucker there, then they're gonna want to be my best friend, aren't they?
oh, I also forgot to tell you that the electricity goes out and there's no lights that come on.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
not.
joking. I'm joking. No, lights are on. Lights are on.
Nah, it's not. It's not happening.
But you don't have a counteract price. You don't have a price for me that I could work on.
What's Elon Musk worth?
What, like you're saying like a billion?
No, what's Elon Musk worth?
I don't know, maybe 15, 20 billion at least or something, maybe more.
Right, Elon Musk is worth 264.6 billion. That's my price.
Are you being for real?
Seriously, it is a fear. Like, people have fear of buttons. Like, they are absolutely petrified of buttons. I don't like dogs. I'm scared of dogs.
So your price to spend one night, and it can be any night you want. So it can be the shortest night of the year, right? Okay, I'm trying to give you more here, right? Okay, but you're not giving anything back. You are a really bad haggler. I know I'm really bad at haggling, maybe. So sunset to sunrise, lights on, all the cages are open, all the doors are open. You just have to survive. All right. Okay. And you want 260 what? 260?
264.6.
Oh, yeah, you got to remember there's 0.6. You don't want to be shortchanged there, do you?
It's important. It's important to make all the difference to my mental health and well-being.
So your price is Elon Musk's fortune.
Net worth, yeah. So basically, you need to ring him up and say, Elon, I need to borrow a few quid from you to get my mate to do something. And yeah.
So if I offered you £1 billion, £1 billion, are you for real? It's a long topic we're discussing here because you are being one stubborn ass itch.
I'm scared.
That's £1 billion, man.
Yeah. And what's £1 billion? Like you said, what's the point if you go to the moon and you can't spend it? What's the point if you give me $1 billion and I get eaten?
Well, I think, but the chances are you will probably survive.
Probably.
Yeah, but it's not okay.
What percentage are we talking about here?
90.
No, I'm 90%. Okay, am I going to get some kind of Am I going to be maimed? Am I going to have to go get stitches?
You're looking into this a lot too much, and obviously, and you saying that you could lie in a crate of snakes and spiders, which with one bite will kill you, like will stop your heart dead. But a dog licking you as you sleep on the floor, you want Elon Musk's net worth.
Hang on, okay, I'll counteract what you just said there. So, what if a snake is licking me? You're saying if I'm going to die. What if Luna grabs me by the neck?
Thing is, a snake is not going to lick you to see if you're a threat to it. It's going to get its fangs out and going to bite you to threaten you off, or just to basically kill you so it can swallow you whole.
Right, and Luna might want to do the same.
Luna might just want to hump your leg.
Yeah, and the snake might just want.
Snake will not hump your leg.
It might want to cuddle or something. I don't know.
Right. So your price is Elon Musk.
Yeah.
On to our final topic, and it is our weekly Would You Rather. We have had telekinesis versus telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
And last week we had, would you rather be part of the Avengers team or the Justice League team? And hopefully some of you might have commented on our social media accounts, and hopefully we've had a really good discussion about that. Or we've just realised that Dave just wants to be part of the Justice League. Could just be that. But it is your Would You Rather this week, Dave.
It is. We are going for where would you rather live for the rest of your life? Would you rather live for the rest of your life in the Arctic or the Sahara Desert? So extremely cold or extremely hot? I think it probably boils down to where do you think you've got most likelihood of surviving as well, really.
Yeah. I mean, if you come on that line, I think there is an obvious place, to be fair. Because if you think the desert, there's nothing can freaking grow in the desert. I mean, you finding water in the desert, that's a nope. You trying to find an edible plant, that's a nope. You try
Just
to find
a
some
few cactuses.
yeah. You try to find some shade, that's a nope.
Mm-hmm.
You try to find like a cave or something, unless you're near some mountains, that's a nope. And that's actually turned out to be quite an easy choice to make. I was actually thinking, where would I sleep best? Because I quite like the cold, and if it was my choice, I'd have the windows open all night and let the cold in, because I like snuggling to bed cold. Like when you're hot, you're so bothered, and I hate it. I hate sort of going to sleep in the heat or the warm. I hate it. I can't do it. My wife, she can sleep for anything, but I can't. I have to have some coldness, because then you can wrap yourself up. It's easier to warm yourself up than to cool yourself down. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you're a madman.
I love it, man. I'll be in the Arctic just sleeping out in the snow or something.
Hannah has to have windows open, sleeping, and
Yeah.
ridiculous.
But you're right though. In the Arctic, there would be more avenues to survive. Like you could dig yourself a fishing hole if you're near like a frozen lake or something, and you'd be fishing. That'd be fine. There are a few dangers still. You've got polar bears. You've got obviously some severe weather, but then you always got severe weather in the desert.
You've got cute little penguins.
Yeah, like you got a lot of wildlife around. You might be surrounded. The only thing though is that if you're not near a frozen lake where you can get access to drinking water, try to get drinking water in the Arctic. It's still quite difficult because you have to melt snow.
Yep.
Because if you eat snow, you'll burn your tongue.
Yep.
So just obviously it's frozen ice. You try to put your tongue to an ice cube, it freezes. Sack of some snow. So you have to melt it. How are you going to melt it? You're not going to have fire unless you're near a wood, and you could try dry it out. So that's difficult. I want to see it now. I still go Arctic, but I'm starting thinking there's not much of a difference really.
I think you're gonna. It is a tough one, and that's why I'm throwing it out there, because I think you're probably going to end up dying in either. But
great. So which one would you rather die in? The Arctic, or it's not a livable situation. It's where would you rather spend your last days trying to live?
I think you do have more opportunity of living, but I think the question most people, without, if you didn't think about it more or less, they're thinking hot or cold. I think most people would go with their preference, whether they prefer the cold or the hot.
So where would you sit with this?
I mean, I hate being cold. So obviously the desert is a preferred temperature option, but when I say preferred temperature option, it's warm rather than cold. But it's not just warm, it's blazing hot. And as you said, there's no shade, shelter, or anything. So as much as I hate being cold, I think chances of survival are massively the Arctic. But then you do have like little creatures and stuff in the Sahara, but I think they're going to be few and far between, harder to capture.
I mean, you do have civilizations who have made it in the desert. I mean, you think like the Egyptians, possibly like the Aztecs in Mexico and stuff like that, and you do have still out there, like, you know, tribes and native people who probably still live out like in the desert sticks, if you like, and they make it work. Because you do have like wildlife out there, camels. You might have some farm animals who might be able to do that, like sheep, just really freaking hard working sheep. Or so I don't know. I'm just guessing really. And you do get like snakes and stuff if you catch them, and you can make sure they don't lick you rather than bite you, Dave. You know.
Yeah.
And you do get water in the desert. You just got to be the right bits for it, really. To be fair, near forests and rivers and stuff like that, you might be lucky, and that'll be easy to get water rather than try to drill. I mean, what have you got in the Arctic? Are you allowed to have tools in the Arctic, or you got to start from scratch?
Well, we never go that deep. It's a simple question. It's a simple question. Where would you rather live?
So as I say, if you're not given the tools in the Arctic, and you're trying to drill through a few inches thick of ice to do like a fishing hole or to get into water, what are you going to use?
Punch it, stamp on it, I don't know. Bare knuckle fight it.
You're gonna fight club the frozen lake.
Yeah, no, I think there's pluses and minuses for both, but maybe the Arctic possibly edges it, possibly.
So I've gone down the side of where would I sleep better, and you've gone down the slide of I just don't like the cold.
I hate the cold. I hate being cold.
Right.
I mean, the thing is as well, I think I have to possibly choose the Arctic as well, because as you know, I burn quite easily as well. So yeah. I think I'd be red raw.
But you can burn in the Arctic as well, can't you?
Yeah, and get like snow blindness and that kind of stuff because of the glare off the white. So
really, you just need to sit in a dark room somewhere and not come out.
Yeah, sit in a dark room with no dogs, and life would be cool.
So where can they find our Would You Rather question, Dave? Where can people comment this on?
We will put it up on Twitter and Instagram.
Cool. And then we'll try and read out some comments in our next episode.
Yeah, so get commenting.
But no, good question, man. I like that.
Thank you.
It's made me contemplate the weather. Very good. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 3. It's been a good journey so far.
This will probably be about another 7 hours. We apologise.
Yeah. Hopefully you've enjoyed using the timestamps. If you just want to if you're getting used to the topics and you want to flick through, by all means, we won't be offended. And do get in touch and share the word of the Waffle Cafe podcast. And that's about it. That's about it from me.
We'll see you all again next week.
Episode 4.
A month. It'll be a full month then. Exciting.
May the 4th be with you.
Oh god, that horrible joke. I think it's time to.
But it's good. No, yeah, okay. Well, May is coming up anyway. Anyway, have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Over and out from the Waffle and Cafe podcast.